Let me tell you about God's Gang. It's an animated series which is available online. It celebrates people of different faiths and backgrounds, all in one show. It's supported by a specialist interfaith council consisting of a rabbi, an imam, a pastor, and a specialist in the Hindu faith. And now they've introduced Ching, a Buddhist expert who's joined the council. Our Brogan Quinn caught up with Gene to ask him why God's Gang's unique interpretation of faith is so important.
I think especially now, it's extremely important that we have some unifying messages out there, something that where people can understand each other's faith a little better, in a positive way, where everybody's represented in an inclusive manner. Right now, the world just feels very, very ununited. And I think I'm hoping that God's Gang can provide something that something that bridges the gap. One of the things I really admire about what God's Gang was doing is they put together representatives of all these different religious beliefs to help advise, like myself.
And so how does this representation of all faiths coming together really help sort of younger generations?
Well, we're just starting out, so we'll see how influential we get. The idea of having a message of equality and understanding, I think, is incredibly important to get across. Some of our episodes deal with some of the differences and why people observe certain practices and how those differences can be resolved or overcome. I think that's really important.
And you've been appointed, as you mentioned, to join other specialists on the Interfaith Council. So what exactly will your role be on the council?
Mostly advisory. So what happens is they let me see the scripts and of the stories as they're in development, and I advise them in terms of accuracy and authenticity. And if there's certain things like they say or certain gestures they do, I advise them in ways that they can make it a little bit more true to Buddhism in my case.
And it's really important to get that right, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you don't get that right, then it's the whole thing kind of comes undone, right? I mean, we don't want it to be any sort of cultural appropriation. We need to respect each culture and have representatives of each culture, each religion, establish it as true, as authentic. Another theme that's important to me personally is that as I'm a Shaolin disciple, most of my focus is in the martial arts. And I've been a professional martial artist for my entire career. And so the martial angle of this show really appeals to me, that it's done in a fun and accurate way. I mean, a lot of the ways martial arts are represented in media tend to be just kind of kickboxing. And since all of the martial traditions are somewhat linked to the religions, it's important to keep that authentic as well.
And would you say there's still a lot of stereotypes in the media?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And that's sort of the slippery slope in what we're doing is we don't want to fall into the stereotypical or caricature representation, which is, I mean, obviously it's a kid's cartoon, so things are simplified, but we need it to be authentic.
That's Ching, who's an expert in Buddhism, who's joined the council of multi-faith specialists who produce God's Gang.